Lucy here. It's really windy, so I'm not going to do this acid wash, but I wanted to I'm going to come back tomorrow, but right now I just want to show you, here's what happens when if you're in a hard water area, and if you don't brush your pool like on a weekly basis, and if you don't use like the stain out, mineral sequestering agents or anything like that, or if you let your pH go too high, what happens is that if you get dirt and it sits on your pool, then what happens is the calcium gets so high or so hard, and then the calcium sits on top of the dirt, and then you can't brush it off. So that's when, then sometimes you try to use a stain treatment, that doesn't work, then you got to drain the pool and acid wash it. So I'm just going to grab the camera, show you the bottom of the pool and a couple other little things, and why it's so important to use these extra chemicals. And they're not harmful, you know, they make them so they're not harmful, but they do help with maintaining the water balance and the chemistry of the pool so that you don't have this situation. So I'm going to grab the camera, I'm going to show you the problem spots, and then tomorrow I'll come back, but you know, for you guys it'll be 1 second, and then just show you. And this is a colored plaster pool, which is a little bit different than a white plaster, because when you have the acid sitting down, you know, and when you start the acid wash, and you can't let the acid sit too long in the bowl because it'll discolor that part. So after every couple pours, you know, I always get the water out and rinse it to make sure there's not an uneven plaster at the end. So I'm just going to grab the camera and show you what I'm talking about on the bottom, and then I'll be back in a little while to actually do the acid wash. Okay, so see this little, see it's hard, okay, see that little turtle? You can actually see it. And this, see how this is calcium on top of that. And then if you look at if you can see the surface on the bottom, let's go in the shade maybe. See how like kind of mottled it is? This is just dirt that is stuck on there. Okay? And it's so now we have to do the acid wash. The other thing what we're doing is this is the time when you want to take some of your pop-up heads out. Of course, these, you know, actually came out. All right, so we're going to replace those, flush out the system, and then for example too, these, see how discolored the steps are in here. Okay, that brownish tinge, that's all like metals and all that. So anyway, I will be back and show you the rest of the job tomorrow, okay? Or in a minute. See you soon. I'm back. Okay, so yesterday what we did, remember I was showing you the pop-up heads? Well, we started to inspect them, and this is the pile that we got. So I'm going to show you really quickly. You can see inside of there, look at this, I mean, these are just hard. They were just absolutely falling apart, okay? So, excuse me. It was no fault of the owner, because he had hired a service, just a chemical service, to come and do that. So nobody was brushing, nobody but them was checking the water. And I'm not saying that there aren't good companies out there, there probably is, but if you have a chemical only service that comes out, you know, every now and then just take the water in to a pool store and have them check it, okay? Because he wasn't even using these pop-up heads because it's a long story, but he wasn't using them. So this isn't from wear and tear. This is from corrosion, from the pH and the being imbalanced, the water being imbalanced. Okay, so now that's done. Now what I'm going to do is The other acid wash video that I did a long time ago, the green monster, it's gonna be a little bit different than this one, the solution. Now, number one, at that time, I did not know about this, using this Biodex stain off. And when you're doing an acid wash, I recommended that I always use the Plaster White and Bright. And what this does is it's like a soap, and it, number one, cuts down the fumes, and number two, it helps the acid to cling onto the walls so that it's more effective. And then on this pool, I'm going to use, because it's a colored plaster, I'm going to use a lighter solution of acid, because I'm going to be using the stain off, because I don't want to be, you know, ruining the color or anything. So it's going to be a little bit less acid. So, and then the last thing is, in that first video, because I've been doing this for so long, I had poured the acid in first, because I wanted to the exact amount, and then I put water in, and people were like, never mix, you always add the chemical to water, never water to chemical. That's, okay, let's just say that's true, but really and truly, it's true when it's a dry chemical, okay? But, you know, to be on the safe side, we'll do that. I don't want to be teaching any bad habits or anything like that. Now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the camera up, show you what I do on this, even though the directions tell you to do something different, but you know, when you do so many of them, you kind of find shortcuts. So I put about a tablespoon or two into this lovely watering can, if you can see it. And then I put water in, and to dilute it a little bit, mix it up, because this is really, really thick, and it can get really gummy towards the end. So I'm going to put a little bit in there, put the water in, and then put some acid in, and put the stain off in. And then when you're doing an acid wash that has, most pools have steps, you always want to start at the bottom first. And the reason is because if you start at the top, number one, it'll streak. Number two, it would have less time on the bottom to sit, because if you want to start rinsing the top, and then so what you pour at the bottom, if you're doing it from the top to the bottom, doesn't have enough time. So it makes sense to start at the bottom and work your way up. And this is, you know, on the bench or steps, okay? So I'm gonna set the camera up, try to get this all, and remember to always rinse the area first, and then in this colored plaster pool, you want to make sure that every couple of pours, and you know, and you rinse it down. Then I'm going to pump the water out and keep water, fresh water, as much as I can in there. So, because you don't want the bowl to be have a bunch of acid in it, okay? So let me reset the camera up a little bit. And sorry, I'm doing this by myself again, but I thought this was an important one for you to see. And I know we're going to clean up those little turtles. And all right, I'll be right back. Sorry for my face in your face. Okay, so first thing, I'm going to put a little bit of this Plaster White and Bright in. See how goopy it is? And then I get my hose. And you don't want the nozzle to be really sharp on it, because it'll suds up. So see, I'm putting water in. Now, because I don't know the dilution rate yet, I'm going to make it on the weak side first. And I'll just go ahead and put this in. And again, this is just about, I don't know, a quarter cup. Because on this this colored plaster pool, I'd prefer to use more of this and not use as much acid. It's about 3/4 of a gallon, so I'm going to pour a little more water. I like to alternate because, you know, you want it to be mixed up real well in there. Okay, I'm going to turn the camera off again and then set it up so you can watch the pour. Now, if you want to, this is an acid wash brush. It's got like a little wedge on it. I'm going to just brush the little turtles. It's real hard for me to see, so I apologize, you know, for everything. So I'm going to just brush those quickly. So I'm going to start rinsing. Okay, so I'm almost done, but what we have left is this horrible streak down the middle that I'm going to make my last pour, okay? And so instead of going and starting at the wall, which I normally do, but see, like when there's not a whole lot of a pool area, you can go ahead and reach, but this is too far for me to reach from the side. So what I'm going to do is start at the bottom and work my way up, okay? And it's the same principle as the steps, because if you start at the bottom, then you have a more even pour, and well, that's it. And then you can start rinsing at the bottom instead of starting up here, and then when you have to rinse, then this doesn't have enough time to set. And the other thing too with the Biodex Plaster White and Bright, which is really nice, is you can let it sit on there for like up to 10 minutes. It won't ruin anything. The other thing is you want to move your pump every now and then, because sometimes it vibrates, or sometimes it can leave a mark. So I moved that. And then do you remember yesterday when I showed the inside of these steps? Look how nice and beautiful they are. So, but you also want to be careful that when you get acid in there, to rinse the heck out of it, because I've seen a lot of pools get etched really badly down the sides because they don't rinse it enough. Okay, I'm going to set up and do the best I can to show you the last pour. And so if you find yourself in a situation where you have the center that still needs to be done, and you have that, then this is what you want to do. Okay, let me set up. Always be careful not to slip. Well, hopefully I got most of that. Now, what I didn't do the wall, because first of all I was running out of acid solution. So I'm going to let this sit for a little bit, and then I'm going to pour the wall before I even rinse this, and so it'll all kind of meld together, and I will be right back. Okay, so I'm gonna let that set again and rinse it off, and just look around and see if there's any more stains. And because like I said, you know, I may have to go over that again because it had so much calcium on it. Anyway, the pool, I'm real happy with it. Hope the client will be. And I'm sorry about all the shadows and everything. There's like these, it's Las Vegas. Okay, so I'm going to explain my little methodology of, so now there's water on the bottom. When I pull the pump out, I have it running because if you shut the pump off and then take it out, the water from the hose that's going to the sewer is going to run backwards at you. So it's not going to hurt the pump just to, you know, have it running for the little time that you pull it out, okay? And then I set it on something, either, you know, rocks or, look at my fat ass, rocks or, and then I use my shop vac from up here and suck the water out. And then I put the pump into the vacuum and put in fresh water, so it's doing two things. It's you don't have to drag the vacuum and dump out this acid water, and you're cleaning your hoses. So the last couple times after I clean that out, I'm going to like just keep rinsing the pump and the hoses, and then I'll detach everything and be done. Okay, so I just keep rinsing. So the bottom is done. Okay. Now I don't know. I know there's a lot of shadows and stuff, but it looks, I think, freaking great. Now I know some of you may go, well, you know, there's like, it's discolored. Well, that's the nature of this plaster. But all that dirt, calcium stuff, stains are gone. You can see the little turtles and Nemo. And anyway, so I'm going to finish up and I'll explain about the water situation for some people that have asked certain questions. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so it's filling up right now. I only have a few minutes left on my card, so I'm going to turn the camera around and talk really fast. Okay, hopefully I can finish this topic. A lot of people have asked me about the water and where it goes. In Las Vegas, we have to put it down into the sewer, so it goes to the treatment plant. If we put it in the street, it goes to Lake Mead, and we're not allowed to do that, which is fine with me. If you don't have that situation and you have to put it to the street, or you have a cesspool or something, you can take some soda ash and pour it into the you know, at the bottom of the pool, that little pond thing. But don't just pour soda ash, because it'll clump up, it'll harden up. So when you pour it, you either have to brush it while it's going in, hitting the water, or you can take the hose, and as you're pouring it, spray it so that it spreads out evenly, and then just take your phenol red and drop it and until the pH goes up and it neutralizes the acid, okay? So anyway, I think that's it. I only have a few minutes. I hope you learned something. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. And sorry for the, you know, camera, but I do the best I can. Thank you. Bye. Oops.